Hi, I'm Finn.
I'm Korri, and we're the strangers.
Numberjacks is a weird fucking show, huh?
One of the strangest.
It stars a bunch of weird number guys and, the focus of this video, 5 super weird villains. We're going to be talking about these villains and try to answer the question, who's the best?
With that out of the way, let's get right into it.
Fuck you! Okay, fine. I'll talk about the Problem Blob. The Problem Blob is the worst Numberjacks villain. That is literally all I have to say about him. Or it. I don't know what the hell this thing even is. This dude is just a blob of green glue with this freaky mouth and an eye in it, and how is this thing approved for children? This Jacksepticeye looking ass gave 7-year-old Korri nightmares. Okay, moving on from how freaky this dude is, I'm gonna start on his other issue. The Problem Blob doesn't actually have a theme in what he does, unlike pretty much every other villain. The Shape Japer changes shapes, the Puzzler does puzzlers, the Numbertaker takes numbers, etc., and the Problem Blob does what? I don't even know what he does. If you want a villain that just takes on problems that help with the other villains, you have Spooky Spoon. Korri will get to Spoon later, and just know she does what the Problem Blob does way better.
The Shape Japer is this little sphere who flies around and mucks about with shapes, be it through changing their proportions, making things of a certain shape go wild, or just changing the shape altogether. The Shape Japer is probably the easiest villain to see coming, since the others rarely, if ever, mess with shapes. She's also in this weird limbo between being verbal and nonverbal, since she only says a few words at a time, and the rest of the time she either laughs or just screams. Maybe she has some sort of disability that impedes her speech, I don't know. The Shape Japer is a pretty fun villain to watch in action because of how enthusiastic and sometimes freaky she can be.
Wow, this dude's creepy. I love it. The Puzzler is this weird floating head who spits bubbles and sometimes does this. Weird. He's pretty unique among the other villains as he interacts with the Numberjacks much more directly. He's all like, ooh, what kidnapped your friend? Do this puzzle or I'll murder them. Or some shit. I don't know what he actually plans to do with them. He's pretty cool. He seems much more, how do you put it, neutral with the Numberjacks than the other villains. While the other villains are actively against them, it seems like the Puzzler just wants someone to try out his puzzles and doesn't know who else to go about it. Poor dude. All things considered, he's a pretty swell guy.
Oh boy, it's her, the legend herself. Spooky Spoon is definitely the most chaotic of the villains. She's not tied down to a specific theme. She just likes to mix things up. Their words, not mine. She's also, and there is no nice way to put this, kinda bitchy. Especially towards 5.
Seriously, girl, what's your issue?
It's always fun to have Spooky Spoon in an episode, because you never know what she's going to do next. All in all, she's a pretty cool villain.
Nightmare fuel. The Numbertaker is the most active threat towards the Numberjacks. His whole purpose is to eliminate them. To take them, if you will. His shtick is that he steals numbers or numbers of things. Well, he seems simple and almost boring. I can't get enough of this dude. His design is somehow both ridiculous and intimidating with his big old top hat and shit. He's also the only human villain, which really begs the question, who or what is he? Is he just some dude who really hates numbers? Is he a ghost? Is he some sort of otherworldly being who took the form of a human to terrorize these terrifying blunders of God? Whatever he is, he's pretty cool. Really cool. And his intro song's a banger, man. So, to answer our question, who's the best Numberjacks villain? The question's kind of vague and subjective, so Korri and I decided to go with 3 actually. Both of our favorites, and who we consider to be the biggest threat to the Numberjacks or their world.
My favorite villain is probably Spooky Spoon, because she's so wild and unpredictable.
My favorite's the Shape Japer. She was a childhood favorite of mine and I still absolutely adore her. Look at her go! Hell fucking yeah.
As for which is the biggest threat, who else than the—
It's the fucking Numbertaker, baby!
Chill out. The Numbertaker is the only one who actively tries to harm the Numberjacks themselves, rather than just cause trouble.
Good for him. Please get a hobby, sir. Well, that's that. We ought about Numberjacks villains for a couple minutes and didn't really come to any definite conclusions. What was even the point of that?
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.